Test. Okay, cool. So, hello, my name is Scarlet. I am the creator of this Wizard101 card game. I've been working on it on and off for a couple years now. And by on and off, I mostly mean off. So, I literally just came back to this project today after probably months of not working on it. So, cut me some slack if I am a little unfamiliar with the rules, but I should be fine. Right? I'm professional. I can do this. So let's start with, nope, not that. Where is it? There it is. The rules and mechanics of the game. So starting off with the very top, we got the deck building. This is, and for this game, I want to keep it as close to the original Wizard 101 as possible. However, that is not possible. I know a lot of people make like Wizard 101 card games, and it's just like the cards from the game copy and pasted onto cardstock. I have tried that. It doesn't work very well. Um, at least not for casual play. If you want to have a card game with a calculator and very clunky mechanics that don't translate super well directly to physical card games, then sure, it's fun. But I want something that I can easily translate to physical play, that you can play without needing a calculator, without needing to do somewhat not crazy multiplications, but multiplications that might be a little bit hard to do in your head. Um, and just make something that's a bit more approachable and easy to understand, easy to pick up, easy to play. And that's the goal. So it's not going to be a one-to-one translation, but it's the best that I can do. Um, Also, the game is not complete. As of right now, there are only 3 classes that have enough cards to have a functional deck. The other classes just kind of have filler cards that exist, but that is going to change. Every class will be fully implemented with as many spells that I can put in as possible. So what you see right now is a very early in development game. It's not going to be complete. Things are going to be missing. Things are going to look kind of jank. That's okay though, because it's going to get better, I hope. Anyways, back to the deck building. So in deck building, you choose a class from one of these 7: Fire, Ice, Storm, Death, Myth, Life, and Balance, same as in the actual game. I know that there's Sun, Moon, and Star spells. Those have been condensed into one class called Astral. You cannot play as Astral. It is simply for deck building, and not something that you can play as. Although maybe I will change that. I don't know. Um, I shouldn't be promising things like that. Anyways, it's a 64 card deck with 36 cards in the side deck, so 100 cards total. And you get 10 training points in deck building, which I will cover later. Um, although I guess first off, the training points are used to put cards that are not a part of your class into your deck. And cards that are already of your class. So if you're playing Storm, you don't need to worry about using training points for Storm spells to put into your deck. They are free as far as deck building goes. You can have a maximum of 6 copies for cards of your class and 4 copies of cards for cards that are not a part of your class. So if I'm playing Storm, as we see here, I could have a total of 6 copies for Storm spells, and if I wanted to put a Myth Shield, for example, into my deck, I could only have 4 copies of it in the deck total. And that includes side decks in this case. So it's 4 cards, 4 copies total across your main deck and your side deck. And then we get to setup. Setup is pretty simple. You put the main deck in front of you, side deck to the side, on the left or right to the main deck, it doesn't matter, and you put the discard slot space in the other one. If you put the side deck on the left, put the discard on the right, or put them both on the left. I don't care. It works either way, just as long as it's organized and you can tell what's what. Um, and then each player or team or whatever rolls to see who goes first. Highest roll wins, or maybe you decide like, hey, I want to go first, and the other person's like, cool, I want to go second. Then just do that. I don't care. It again, whatever works for you. This is just a suggestion for people who just want a set in stone rule. Um, and then the side that goes first gets 1 free power pip, and the side that goes second gets 2 free power pips at the start of the game. And that is for each player that is a part of that side. So if you're doing teams, each player on the team gets 2 free power pips if they're going second. And then we get into turn phases. You have the beginning phase or starting phase or whatever you want to call it. Each player draws cards from their main deck so that they have 7 cards in hand, and each player rolls for to see if they get a power pip or a normal pip. Power pips cost or give you 2 costs, or they pay for 2 for spells of your class. Normal pips only pay for 1, regardless of what class it is. And again, like I said, power pips only count as 2 to a cost for spells of your own class. If you roll a 1 to 3, then it's a normal pip. If you roll a 4 to 6, then it's a power pip. You can invert it. Again, it doesn't matter as long as you have something that is decided beforehand so that people can know what's what. If you do coin, just heads is power, tails is normal, whatever works for you. And then it moves on to the planning phase, where each player can discard cards from their hand or draw cards from their side deck. You cannot exceed more than 7 cards in your hand at any given time. And each player must select 1 card from their hand and place it in front of their main deck face down. Let me add that. Once each player has selected a card, the phase ends, and it moves on to the reveal phase 1 and the combat phase 1. Each player on the side that goes first reveals their selected cards, and then combat begins. In order from right to left of people, of like the order of people are sitting, relative to the game board, if you're the rightmost person on, your side, you go, your abilities trigger first. And if you're on the left, yours triggers last. And where was I? I got distracted and dissociated. Oh yes. So your cards activate in that order, left to right, and it repeats until all players on the side have gone. That's combat phase. I got a little ahead of myself. You have to roll for accuracy, and if the accuracy roll is successful, then the effect goes off for the card. And then it goes on to the reveal phase 2 and combat phase 2, and that's just whatever side goes second, they repeat the reveal and combat phases, but just for the people that go second. And then it moves to the end phase, and that's just kind of the round ends and goes back to the beginning phase. And this is just keywords and like other mechanics and things like that, that aren't really too important right now. So, with that being said, let's look at the card structure. Let me get this. So, we have 2 spells here, Downpour and Sleep Golem. In this case, you got the top of the card, which is the name. You got the left, which is the cost, how many pips it takes to be able to cast the spell in the first place. And then the right is the scaling. Some spells have this hyphen dash thing for their scaling. That means that the spell has no scaling. If it's a 2, that means that buffs like blades, traps, shields get applied to this 2 times. So let's say that you had a fire shield. I actually just get one of those. Let's say someone had a fire shield on them. They have a -4 damage ward, fire damage ward on them. Okay, that means that it would be multiplied by 2. 2 times a -4 is a -8, and you would apply that to, or you would add that to 9. 9 plus -8 is 1, so it would do 1 damage. And if you have multiple, so if you had 2 fire shields, it would be -8 times 2, which is a -16. 9 plus a -16 is negative, so it would just do 0 damage. You can't heal someone by doing negative damage. That's it. Just the least amount of damage you can do is 0. So this is the cost. The top left triangle thing, and the scaling is the top right. And then the accuracy is the bottom left with the colored rings and the 3-10. That is the number that you have to roll to be able to successfully use the ability during the accuracy check. So in this case, if I were to use Sleep Golem and I were to roll this dice, I roll an 8. 8 is between 3 and 10. The spell would be successfully used. The middle thing here that says damage is just the card type, and the thing to the right, the bottom right, is the class icon. So in this case, it'd be a fire spell. You can also tell by the color of the card, but for colorblind people, there you go. And then the effect box is the giant box under the damage card type thing. And at the very bottom right of the card here, where it says the 1, is the training point cost. That's how many training points it costs to put that into your deck if you are not a fire wizard or using a fire deck or whatever you want to call it. Let me get a dice. And there are different card types: damage spells, board spells, global spells, charm spells. There's basic attack spells here, auras, and I think that's it. So let's take a look at what the game phases might look like. Again, like I said in the beginning, not all the decks, or not all the classes have enough spells to make a deck. Right now, let's just say that I have a spell of 30 death cards, even though that's not the right amount of cards, nor would you likely have a deck full of death spells made, or a deck entirely made out of death spells. But in this case, it works. So I'm going to shuffle it, and then I'm going to draw 7. And then let's say this is my side deck. Put that here, and then the discard deck will go, or the discard pile will go here. So let's say this is my hand, 7 cards, and I'm like, you know what? We're in the planning phase right now. I'm going to get rid of this, this, this. Actually, no, let's keep that. Let's get rid of this. And you know, I got 4 cards in my hand. I can draw 3 from my side deck. So I'm going to do that. I got 7 cards in hand. You don't need to have 7 cards in hand, by the way. You can have 6. Like, I don't have to draw this card if I don't want to. I could just draw 2 and be at 6, but why not? Let's just draw so we have 7. And then I have to play a card for my hand, so I'm going to play this. I'm going to put it face down in front of me to show that I am ready and I have my spell selected. And then we go to the reveal phase, and if I'm going first, in this case, let's just say I am, I would reveal, and I would do an accuracy check. In this case, it's a 1 through 10, so no matter what I roll, it's going to be successful, but let's just roll for the sake of it. 7, that is between 1 and 10. The spell is successful, so the effect goes off. And I apply a +2 death damage charm to myself, well, to a target. In this case, I'd be targeting myself, so let's just make a copy and put it right there. Tokens are in the works. They're not made yet, but eventually there will be tokens that you will be able to put onto a player's side of the field to signify that they have a charm on them, or a sword, or a timer, or whatever. In this case, right now, since there's no tokens yet, we're just going to copy and paste it. And then this goes into the discard pile. And then everyone on my side, or my team, or whatever, would do the exact same thing. And then once everyone on my team has revealed their card, you'd go to the opposing side and they would reveal all their cards that they selected during the planning phase. The planning phases take place at the same time. The reveal and combat phases do not. And then we would go to the end phase, and that's about it. I forgot to do the mana thing, but it's pretty simple. You start off with mana, and then you roll during the beginning phase to see if you get power mana. Let's do that real quick, just because I forgot. 6, so I get, what was it, power mana? Something like that. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, 4 to 6 power mana, so I would get, let's just say that this is a power mana. Pip, whatever. And that would happen during the beginning phase, not at the end phase like I'm doing it right now. I'm just doing it at the end phase because I forgot to do it at the beginning. And if this, let's just say I didn't use that. Let's say I use Putrefy, and it costs 3. So I would get rid of this and get rid of this. That equals 3. There you go. And that's how the cost works. So it's pretty simple. The health values are dependent on the class that you're playing. In this case, they're written on my Word document. I don't have them implemented into Tabletop Simulator, so you just have to know what the values are right now. That's something I can easily fix, and will do so at some point, but for right now I just want to do private play tests, which at that point I can just tell you what the health value is for the class that you're playing. So as you can see, I've put a lot of work into this. It's something that I am passionate about, making the best game that I possibly can. And part of that is playtests. I don't really have anyone to playtest with, so if you're interested in trying the game and like what you see, DM me or whatever. Preferably, please be 18 plus. I don't want to deal with kids. So preferably be 18 plus. DM me if you want to playtest, and I can add you on Steam, and we can do a playtest or whatever, whenever works best for you. I'm looking for any sort of criticism, advice, suggestions, things to make this the best game I possibly can. If you like it, share it with other people that you think might like it. That would be nice. I would like that. Yeah, like I said, I put a lot of work into this, and I am totally fine with it being something that is just for me and friends to play. But if I can show it to a wider audience and have people like it, then why not do that too? Um, but anyways, I guess that's it. Like I said, if you're interested in playtesting with me and like the game, um, DM me and we can get something figured out. Until then, thank you for watching, and yeah, goodbye.